Hi everybody, my name is Patty and I am your friendly neighborhood librarian at the U of A library, and I am here to tell you a little bit about what the library can do for you and how we can help you with your research projects, not just for this class, but hopefully going forward with all your schooling at the University of Alberta. Those of you who are first year, this is going to be all new information, so I hope you don't get overwhelmed. I'm here to help. And those of you who are returning students, things are going to look a little different as far as what the library can offer you than perhaps what you're used to seeing. So I will walk you through some of that stuff. COVID has changed everything, of course, so I will walk you through some of that. I'm going to hide myself now because I look at myself on Zoom all day long and I don't want to do it anymore. So there, I'm gone. So as I said, the reason I'm here at the kind invitation of your instructor is to let you know about some library basics, where to find things, where to go, etc. And then to help you find some good, relevant, free resources for your projects for this class. I'm going to give you some search tips. I'm going to give you some help with citation as well. And actually, I'm going to show you where you can go to get help. There's lots of help available for you. So I want to let you know where that is. So why can't I just Google it? That's what a lot of people ask themselves. And there's several reasons why not. I mean, I use Google as well. I'm not telling you not to use Google. I'm just saying that there's some things about the internet that won't be helpful as far as this assignment, as your assignments go, for finding legitimate journal articles and things like that. So for example, here today, gone tomorrow, the average lifespan of a web page is 100 days. Things disappear. There's no review process. You know, who's the authority? Who's in charge of the internet? Nobody really. There's fake news everywhere. You're going to get millions of hits and they're not all going to be stuff that you need. There's so much junk out there. You don't know what's relevant. You don't know what's fake news or even what's true or not true. There's not a lot of search features that you can kind of limit your search by. And if you want access to copyrighted and published information, you're going to have to pay at some point. In contrast, library databases, the information is reviewed, so quality control is already there. You don't have to ask yourself, you know, is this fake news? Because we've filtered those out. You can also filter your results by narrowing down by date or by language, relevance and things like that. You can, we have copyrighted information, so you can get that for free. Databases from the library are permanent. They're not going anywhere. They're available remotely, which is extremely important, of course, in these times where you might be working from home. The library purchases these for you. So you just need your CCID and your password to log in, and they're free for you. I think you'll find when you graduate then and you try to access some of these journal articles and things like that is that you have to pay for them. So right now, while you're students at the U of A, they're free for you. So take advantage of that if you can. So what is a database anyway? It's confusing for some people. So a database is a collection of data or information specially organized for search and retrieval by a computer. So the library buys these databases or packages of databases for all kinds of subject areas and in all kinds of formats. So you've got academic journals, newspapers, magazines, ebooks, some web resources as well. Multimedia, we've got film databases, music databases, business databases with market research reports in them. So lots of different kinds of sources. And the information found in databases is either originally created or is put together by a third party from reliable sources and put in a package which we purchase and give to you. So note to self, databases are not internet sources. You want to start with the library websites. You can get to this using, you can either Google it, I guess, or go through the U of Alberta homepage. This is what it looks like. I'm going to point out a couple of things on here for you. If you have any questions about if library services have changed due to COVID, if there's anything current that's going on or anything new that has come up, you can click on this link here and it'll walk you through what's going on. The only library that is physically open right now is Cameron Library, and that's only the main floor and the basement. And if you want to go in there for any reason, whether it's to use a computer or to book a study space or even to print, you have to book your time. You can click on this link to do that, and be prepared to bring your one card and bring a mask and be prepared to socially distance. We just want you to be safe. There's also curbside pickup. So if there's something that you desperately need in physical form, click on this link, fill out the form, they'll pick up your resources, and you can arrange a time for you to come and get them at either Rutherford or Augustana libraries. There's also a link here for course materials, which I don't think you're going to need because your prof has everything on eClass already. So that's groovy. Other things I want to point out, there's a link here for library services. So you click on that and it'll drop you to the bottom of the page and talk about all the various things that the library can do for you. Subject guides, which I'll get into in a minute. Of course, hours and locations, all that kind of thing. I would like to draw your attention to the Ask Us button here, which will take you to a page where you can, there's an email provided where if you want to ask for help, you can do that. This chat box will also show up there. And there's a real person at the end of that chat box. So if you, during library hours, have any questions about library resources, somebody on the other end can answer it for you. I'll also draw your attention to, this is the search the library, the whole website of the library. And then there's a find articles tab, find databases tab, e-journals, and various things like that. I'm going to draw your attention to our research tutorials because I think they will help you. If you click on library services, and like I said, it'll drop you to the bottom of the page, and there will be a link there for tutorials. These have been put together. They're pretty quick, and they'll just talk about, how to walk through doing research projects, from finding topic ideas all the way to where do you find the information, popular and scholarly sources. And then at the very bottom, there's one on plagiarism that I would really advise you to watch as well. We have issues with students and plagiarism every single year. So it's something you need to be cognizant of. This is a page called subject guides. They're also known as LibGuides. And they're a tool that we subscribe to curate lists of important resources for specific subject areas. We have so many databases, it can be really overwhelming to know which ones will be best for your subject area. So we put together these lists and put them in these little boxes. So there's agriculture, there's one for ALES, there's one for arts, business, education, all the faculties. And there are some for particular classes as well, but not all of them. Show you what it looks like. So this is the ALES list of subject guides, and they're all alphabetized. There's one at the bottom for REES, and here are some that are kind of a bit more general for citation, ebooks, government information, newspapers, something called Refworks, which I'll get into in a little bit. These ones are broader, but if you have any questions about that sort of thing, you can go to the guides. This is what the REES guide looks like, and you have most of the databases that you'll be using, but not necessarily all of them, just the most common ones for this type of subject matter. On the left-hand side here, you've got ebook resources, government information, and again, Refworks. And again, the Ask Us button here. So if you click on that link, you can get somebody on the other end. Other useful databases, Sage Research Methods talks about qualitative and quantitative methods. You've got Web of Science and Scopus, which are multidisciplinary, more science-based. Academic Search Complete is more humanities-based. And Environment Complete, which I think would be really useful for this class. I know some of you will be working on topics with an Indigenous focus. So we have a database called Iportal. If you just click on that, it's actually resources that were put together by a librarian at the University of Saskatchewan. Super helpful for Indigenous information. So when you're going in to evaluate information, no matter if you're looking at a web page or a book or a journal article or anything, you want to ask yourself some questions. So this hilariously named test was created at California State University, and it just is an acronym for walking you through questions you want to ask yourself. So C is for current. When was it published? Is it out of date? Has it been disproven? That kind of thing. You want to check that out. Relevancy. Is it related to your topic? Does it answer your question? That kind of thing. Authority. Who wrote it? Who are they? Have they written other things? Are they well regarded in the publishing world? Accuracy, of course, what did they use? What did they base their paper on, or whatever it is that you're looking at? You know, did they look at studies? Is it evidence-based? And also the purpose. Why was it written or published or whatever? Is it biased? Is it, you know, trying to sell you something? So just questions you want to ask yourself. So for research topics, the first thing you want to do is break your topic into concepts, the main concepts, and then find keywords and subject headings for those concepts. For example, I am interested in how food waste affects the environment in Canada. So my 3 concepts: food waste, environment, and Canada. Then what you want to do is think of synonyms or related words for your concepts. That'll broaden your search so you get as many results as possible. So you can use Google for this, or some of the databases will provide suggested search terms as well. So, you know, there's more than one word for food waste. So, you know, I did a search for food waste on Google for related search terms. So found a lot, but I just, you know, chose 4 or 5. Refuse, scraps, garbage, waste matter. Environment as well: habitat, territory, domain, surroundings. And then what I want to do is link them all together using something called Boolean Logic. So Boolean operators form the basis of database logic. I promise you that these will help you in your search find really, really relevant articles way faster. They connect your search words together to either narrow or broaden your set of results. So and is the most commonly used one. It's to put your concepts together. So you want food waste and environment and Canada. Those are my 3 concepts, and I want to link them together using and. Or is to broaden. So this is where you include your synonyms and your related words, put them all together. And then not is to exclude certain results. So I want food waste, but I'm not really interested in leftovers, and that's when I would use not. So some other things you can do, one is called truncation. So you put an asterisk or a question mark at the end of a root word, and it'll give you all the iterations of that root word. There's something called a wildcard, again, either an asterisk or a question mark in the middle of a word. So for example, here I've got woman or women, and then it's very good for British and American spellings. So you put a wildcard in there and it'll bring up all the results with both of those spellings. Phrase searching is something that I use all the time. As you can see, the example here is global warming. You put quotation marks around it and it only will bring up results that have that particular phrase in them. It'll save you a lot of time. Then you link all these things together. So bracket, food waste, and all the related synonyms, and some of them with quotation marks, some of them with truncations, and then you close it with a bracket, and this is where you want to link your other concept. Again, in brackets, all the synonyms for environment, and then you want to link it to Canada. I did a search here, started a search in the article tab of the library. So just to show you, you know, if I plug in food waste, it gives a lot of suggested possible searches that I might be interested in. And I just want to show you an example of how to use the Boolean searches. So I'm doing my search here, food waste and environment. Every database will default to and. It'll have the other Boolean operators in here as well, but they always default to and. So environment and then Canada. So as you notice, I haven't really used any of the Boolean operators in there, like quotation marks or anything like that. So I came up with, I don't know, 4,800 results. Well, that's too many to go through. I don't really want to deal with all of those. So just using very simple Boolean logic, so quotation marks, truncation, I narrowed it down to 675, which is awesome. Then I put in my search using all of my synonyms and everything like that, linked them by and came up with, well, more than 730. But what I could do down here is I can limit my search results. I can limit by full text or scholarly or peer reviewed, by publishing date, by language, and all that kind of stuff. So 730, good relevant results using all the related terms that I'm interested in as well. This is just to show you what it looks like in one of the databases in your LibGuide. This is Environment Complete that I mentioned before. Food waste and environment in Canada, just the simpler search. And just to show you what it looks like. So again, I used my publishing dates here, came up with 337 results. Not too bad. And then I wanted to draw your attention. I found a good article that I want to use. I'll draw your attention to this export button, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. But what I wanted to show you is how to get it. Not every database works exactly the same about getting full text. So sometimes it'll just give you, download PDF or whatnot. But in case you see this and you're like, how do I get to the article? Click on Get It. It'll take you to this thing. This page is called a pass-through page, and it's a publishing thing. So the provider of this article wants to pass right through the library and go right to their page. So this is why it's here. So you click on that, and here's your article right here. Another good way to find related articles, of course, is to look at the bibliographies of articles that you think are relevant to your topic. I'm going to get into citation management tools here. So I don't know if you've seen them or heard of them before, but they are really good for tracking and organizing your citations. So you can generate bibliographies with them. You can keep things in folders. You can share them with your group, which is great because if you're working in a group situation, you're not going to be meeting in person. So it's a really easy way to share resources. There's more than one of them. The University of Toronto, if you click on this link here, does a really great comparison of different citation managers. I'm going to be talking about one called Refworks for a few reasons. One, because it's free for you to use, and two, because the U of A has had a really long relationship with Refworks. It's not the only one, and it doesn't work perfectly. None of them do, but they're, just for informational purposes, I'm going to walk you through it. So Refworks, free web-based software. You can sign up for an account. Your password doesn't have to be tied to your CCID or anything, so you can access it from anywhere. Helps you capture and save references for journal articles, books, web pages, etc. Use it to access the online version later on. You can convert the references into APA, which is what your prof wants, bibliography style, and use it with a Word or a Google Doc and do in-text citations and things like that. So there's a whole LibGuide devoted to Refworks, and this is what it looks like. It walks you through how to create an account and how to get information into it, organizing and managing references, creating a bibliography, etc. Oopsie. One thing I want to draw your attention to is there are two kinds of accounts. One is called Legacy and one is called New or ProQuest Refworks accounts. Legacy is from the old owner of Refworks. ProQuest bought them a few years ago. And so there are some people here at the U of A, some researchers here who still have that old one. If for the purposes of your work right now, I would advise you to do the new Refworks because some of the newer bells and whistles in Refworks work better with the new version. The old the legacy Refworks platform was supposed to be phased out in January of 2018, but it's still around. I'm not really sure why. So Refworks also has quite a good help feature, so you can shoot them an email, and usually within about a few hours they'll get back to you to try to troubleshoot whatever is not working. So I asked you to remember this export button. So just to show you what it looks like, click on it. It goes direct export to Refworks. It defaults to that, but as you can see, there's some other citation managers here. You just save it. Ask you if you want to keep going to Refworks. Yes, I do. I've already logged in. Here is the Refworks page, and then I just click import. So here's my article inside. So you can see there's various ways I can add more articles, assign to folders. I could get into that in a minute. Create, share bibliography, delete. I can add tags. There's some tools where I can, for example, search duplicates and eliminate those. And I can also, if I can't remember where I put an article, I can search by using a keyword or search term and find out where that article is. So you can assign to folders. You can just, click on the box here of whatever articles you want to assign to a particular folder, name it whatever you want. It can be used for this assignment, save for later, second choice, share with my colleagues, that kind of thing. Try to be quite specific so you remember where you put certain articles. You can also share your folders, as I mentioned before. So, just click on share folders, check plug in the name of the folder that you want to share. And then you can add the email addresses of anybody that you want to share it with. So that's done. And then you've got create bibliography. So you can click on that and it'll take you to a page that has a drop down for all the styles. Choose the one you want. And of course, click on check the boxes of the articles you want to be in this bibliography. One thing I will say, if you're having problems with the bibliography aspect of it and it just keeps circling and circling, Refworks is very sensitive to privacy settings, so check your privacy settings if you're having an issue with creating bibliography. I wanted to show you another database that might be good for your searching, just because exporting things to Refworks works differently from database to database. The searching is generally the same, but the export feature is a little bit different. So let's say I found an article that I was interested in, and I went to all options, and this is what pops up. So these are all options for saving this particular article. So I've got download PDF, I've got, I can cite it, I can email it to myself, I can print it, save to Google Drive, whatnot. So I can save to Refworks here. I want to click on that. It'll ask me, do I want to save all the content, all of that kind of thing, and then it'll go to that same page. So citation, you need to cite all your information sources. Plagiarism is a big thing at the U of A, and we have issues with students every year who will copy and paste something from Google and pass it off as their own from Google or from a journal article. Even if you've taken it and put it into your own words, it's still not your own idea, so you still need to cite it. There's a problem with plagiarism in lots of different faculties, and it goes from either losing marks for not citing correctly to getting kicked out of school because you've copied somebody else's work. We have lots of help for citation. As you can see, here's the APA Citation Style Quick Guide for the 7th edition. And you can see all the rest of them right here. What goes into a citation, there's a tutorial for citing, lots and lots of help. And of course, you can also, there's a chat box that pops up here. You can also ask for help that way. So I'm happy to meet with any of you for a consult. Use actually my email, either my email or cameronhelp@ualberta.ca. And I'd be happy to meet with you if you're having any kind of problems with your research. So good luck, everybody, and thanks for watching.